A day that started out with bitterly cold temperatures showing a bit of an improvement, but I'm tracking another Arctic front just ahead.
Fayette County schools are among dozens of schools that were closed today, while the acting superintendent is apologizing following the decision to cancel class.
Not everyone minds the cold.
It's more miserable to be wet all day than it is to be cold.
We follow one mail carrier to find out how she stays warm in these frigid temperatures.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
We woke up to a brutally cold morning across the state.
And while tomorrow won't be as bad, the Arctic air isn't done with us just yet. We begin with WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and a closer look at this frigid forecast.
Yeah, one more Arctic front to go through before the weekend gets into town. And you know what, guys? It's just going to reinforce the cold air that is already in place. You mentioned that brutally cold start to the morning. The numbers I'm showing you now, not to be confused with the wind chills, these were the actual low temperatures this morning on thermometers, not the wind chill numbers. 6 degrees below zero into Mount Vernon, Maysville, 4 degrees below zero, -3 near Cave Run Lake and Moorhead, Paris 2 below Lexington, -1 this morning. And if you're wondering about Lexington, if that was close to a record, it needed 10 more degrees to even get there. -11 was the record low this morning, so I guess technically we could say it could be a whole lot worse. Clouds beginning now to filter back into town, still hanging on to the upper teens, though it feels like 4 degrees right now as gusty winds simply will not leave us alone. So even as temperatures increase a little bit, the wind chill numbers are going to hug the low and mid single digits pretty much all evening long, and that's the number to dress for. Live First Alert Defender, nothing for now, though a lot of clouds and actually some snow showers that we're tracking. One little round into parts of the Hoosier State into Illinois, another round along the actual Arctic front. That'll dive in here as we go into your Friday. So it's another Arctic blast for Friday. Weather headlines, we track that Arctic front. That will lead, guys, to a frigid Friday night in most areas. I've got negative wind chill numbers that show back up late tomorrow. Then our weather pattern turns messy. As you can imagine, a lot of winter weather shows up in that 7-day forecast when I come back in about 10 minutes.
Chris, thank you. The extreme cold caused more than 80 schools to cancel class today.
And while Fayette County was one of those, the decision was followed with an apology from the school district's acting superintendent. WKYT's Victor Puente explains in our top story at 5.
Most Fayette County parents who went to bed before 11 o'clock last night woke up this morning thinking there would still be school. But a late-night decision canceled classes, and now the acting superintendent is apologizing for the way that was handled. At 8 p.m. Wednesday evening, this email went out to parents explaining that classes would go on Thursday because, quote, the temperatures and wind chills expected on January 8th, 2015 do not warrant closing or delaying school.
We made the decision to announce that we were going to have school, but would continue to monitor the conditions.
3 hours later, a call went out to local media saying school would be canceled, and this email was sent to parents explaining that a call would not be going out in the morning.
Our concern was that if we sent a phone call and text message this morning, we would be waking people who already knew of our decision to cancel school.
Helm now says that was a mistake. She apologized to parents and employees who were inconvenienced by the late notice.
And the more I reflected late into the evening about the earlier decision, I knew in my heart that it had been the wrong decision.
She says school officials were in constant contact with the National Weather Service, who told her there were no safety warnings, but the more she heard from parents and employees, the more she realized it was simply too cold to go to school.
Always want to err on the side of safety rather than on being right or anything else.
Helm said in the future, anytime they cancel classes, they won't send out notifications until they're absolutely sure of their decision. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
And all school-sponsored activities were canceled tonight. Not every student had a day off from school today for the weather. Woodford County, Paris, Independent, and Pulaski County schools among the districts that went ahead with classes. Pulaski County officials say they did not receive any complaints about their decision.
Well, we made the decision yesterday to go to school. We kind of looked and we knew what the temperature was going to be like, but we also knew that there wasn't any precipitation coming. We felt like that it was going to be a good dry day to have school. We have newer buses. They all started. We have no issues at all this morning.
The Pulaski County School Superintendent says if it was snowing this morning, that could have changed their decision.
The bitter cold is taking a toll on the power grid, with furnaces working overtime. Small power outages have been popping up all over the place. WKYT's Jordan Valines talked to Kentucky Utilities officials who say workers are ready to repair outages as quickly as possible.
On Thursday, crews with Kentucky Utilities spent the day restoring power to the power outages that happened across the city. Although outages are an inconvenience, especially with this weather, KU says they're pleasantly surprised to see how relatively few were reported. Out of the 500,000 customers they cover, only about 2,500 have lost power in the past 24 hours. And officials say the low number of outages so far isn't a fluke. They've been preparing their generation system for the past several days, making sure it's operating properly and efficiently enough to handle this extreme weather.
We've been pretty aggressive, as I said, to maintaining them, replacing what we need to replace, rebuilding what we need to rebuild if we need to do that. So it's a pretty hardy system that we've got.
Now you can check the status of those power outages by going to Kentucky Utilities' website and checking their power outage map. In Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Well, the wintry weather is being blamed for the death of a trucker from Kentucky. 67-year-old Leonard Mink of Nancy died in an 18-vehicle pileup on Interstate 80 in Pennsylvania. Mink was hit and killed when he got out of his truck to help people injured in the crashes. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked to Mink's family today. You'll hear how he's being remembered on WKYT News at 6. And the dangerous cold has put 2/3 of the country in a deep freeze. The frigid air is reaching as far south as Florida, where farmers there are nervous about their fruit and vegetable crops. In South Carolina, sidewalks are icy and fountains are frozen. Well, the best way to keep warm in this frigid weather is to just stay inside, but some people have to be outdoors in order to keep a roof over their head.
And that they do. Our meteorologist Jim Caldwell spent the day with a mail carrier to see how she braves this kind of cold weather. The story is new at 5.
Many of us, when we head out for work in the morning, we go to one place, and that's where we stay. But others, like the lady you're going to meet here, she's out in this weather all day long, regardless of the temperature or whatever's falling from the sky. Anita Gucher burns the sidewalks up even on the coldest of days. And on the Arctic days as well, you'll find her delivering mail along her route. She'll walk 5 miles today.
You know, we work in different conditions all the time. You just have to be prepared for what the day is going to bring. Fleece, obviously, is one of my favorites. Fur. I know this is not postal regulations, but it's warm. It keeps me very warm.
One never gets used to weather extremes. You just learn how to deal. And after 16 years out in the cold, the snow, and the ugly, she says it's all about the layers.
You just have to, you know, dress in layers. That's the only thing I can do to stay warm.
These cold temperatures are a major inconvenience for all of us. But Gucher says she nearly prefers the extreme cold over the rainy days of spring or even summer.
The rain is probably the worst. You can't stay dry. You can't keep the mail dry. Everything's wet. So it's more miserable to be wet all day than it is to be cold.
We all know the post office creed, and of course that is neither rain, sleet, snow, all of that stuff. We know that already. But as they've pointed out at the Postal Service, it said nothing about 0 degrees. In Lexington, I'm meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Good for her. And remember, we can help you get through this extreme cold snap. Just visit WKYT.com for your latest forecast, closures, and weather headlines.
Police have released surveillance video hoping it will help them solve a robbery. A man held up the check into cash near the bypass in Nicholasville on Tuesday. The video shows him pull a handgun and jump over the counter. Police say the robber's jacket is unique and they hope someone will recognize it.
The jacket that this individual is wearing is very unique. Actually, I've never seen anything quite like it. The designs on it are multicolored. We've looked on the internet to try to see if we could find something that even remotely matches.
No one was hurt. Any tips can be made anonymously to Nicholasville police. The Cats returning to the court Saturday.
And this time they're on the road before leaving town. Coach John Calipari talked about the upcoming matchup. Our Rob Bromley is here now with more on the Texas A&M game. Rob?
Well, it was a close call against Ole Miss Tuesday night. Now it's down to Texas A&M as the Cats play their first road game in the SEC. John Calipari felt his team was pretty good guarding the three-point line, but Ole Miss came in and hit 9 threes, shot better than 50% from behind the arc. So Cal took a look at what happened Tuesday.
Some of them we were all over them and they made it, but there were 5 or 6 that our hands were down. So we're going to zero in on that. Threes and free throws. If that beats us, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And it can beat you because you can't guard a free throw. And if a team's a great three-point shooting team, you got to make them drive. And we didn't.
The Wildcats heading down to College Station, Texas. We will get you ready for the game Saturday afternoon, 12:30 Wildcat warm-up. CBS coverage, Cats and the Aggies. It will tip off at 1, and then after the game, right back with Wildcat wrap-up. You can catch it all right here on your home for UK Sports, WKYT. Coming up in the next half hour, what did Cal think of Trey Lyles missing those 2 free throws right near the end of overtime? You'll hear what he told Trey. That'll be in sports just before 6. Sam Hamber.
Thank you, Rob. At 14-0, the Cats have their best start since 2009. That year, the Cats won their first 19 games. 2 suspects in a deadly newspaper office shooting still on the run. We're tracking the search for them.
And an alert if you bought candles at Hobby Lobby, the reason some are being recalled in Better Living.
Even with school out, some Central Kentucky students still spent the day learning. We'll show you how they did that on WKYT News at 5:30.